no idea who that was.
Hello and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix DC. Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Ben Stark, and we're underway. Conley Woods versus Sam Wade here. Conley leads things off with an island, and Sam Wade actually has a one drop here with Renown Weaver.
Not a big fan of that guy, but he's playable.
Looks pretty good right now. A 1-3 blocker for the Satyr Hedonist of Conley Woods potentially here. Sam Wade is a school teacher.
Cool.
Conley Woods is a professional Magic player. Sam comes from St. Louis. Conley lives in Colorado.
Grove Dancer.
All right, Satyr Grove Dancer. Make it a Grizzly Bear. He's going to put the counter on the Grove Dancer, ship the turn back.
Conley looks like he mulliganed.
I think they might have both mulliganed here.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, Sam's got 4. He should have 5 if he didn't mulligan. So yeah, they both took 1 mulligan.
Okay. And Conley's going to send in there for 2 damage. And it goes unblocked, so Sam Wade's going to go ahead and take it, and he's going to go on the aggressive plan himself here. Now, Conley Woods had no play on turn 3. Sam's going to get in there for 3 damage.
That was an interesting little exchange because he didn't attack with the Renown Weaver when, like, you would think your 1-1 for their 2-1 would be a good trade, and then he didn't block with it. Maybe Faring Feral Invocation or something.
Okay.
Or maybe just because he wants to make a 1-3. But I mean, I wouldn't think that a 1-3 is enough better than a 2-1, that your purpose for not trading, I mean, would be to make a 1-3. I don't really know.
Right, all right, so he does make a 1-3 here on end step. That did keep Conley from attacking, as Conley's missing land drops here. It's pretty common when you see players mulligan down to 6. Sometimes they stutter a little bit here and there. Let's see what Sam has for his 4th turn, though. Conley's still sitting there on double island and a forest. Not a thrilling start here for Sam Wade, right? I mean, he's got 3 pretty mediocre cards here. Nyxborn Rollicker. He's going to attack just for 3 this time. Now he's leaving back his Spider again.
It looks like he's respecting Feral Invocation. I mean, that's what it looks like to me, because, I mean, he didn't block, and he didn't attack whenever Conley had the 3 mana open now. And, I mean, that Rollicker play makes you good against Feral Invocation, because if he blocked and feraled, his guy would still die.
Right.
So, I mean, it looks to me like maybe Sam is, you know, trying to respect that card, trying to play around that card a little bit.
All right. Agent of Horizons now for Conley Woods. Gets him on the board. He's going to instantly trade off here, and the trade actually happens. No combat trick here from Sam, leaving him with a lowly 1-1.
Conley Wood not respecting Feral Invocation.
Not at all, or any other trick.
That trade is probably right, because Conley knows that he needs to draw land. So, I mean, he's looking to prolong the game. He's not looking to race.
So either way, he gets to do that, right? Even if his opponent has a trick, makes him use up his mana for the turn, and hopefully gets things moving for Conley. Conley does, interestingly, find his 4th land, but still just says go.
Well, we saw Horizon in his hand.
Horizon Chimera.
Yeah.
There it is, Horizon Chimera. And again, no respect from Conley for Conley Woods for any type of combat trick.
Well, he kind of figures that Sam doesn't have anything, because Sam would have probably used a trick the previous turn.
Sure.
Which was another upside of Conley's block. You know, it allows him to ambush that 1-1 with his Horizon Chimera.
So he does take a couple of damage from Spear Point Oriad, but he's going to get one of those back off of the draw step with his Horizon Chimera, gaining him a life. And he's on the offensive here. He can attack through the Spider. Sam Wade seemingly stuck on lands and just has no plays here with 4 mana up. Let's see what Conley can do. He adds Chorus of the Tides to the fun. And this is where, you know, the 1-3 Spider really just looks pretty unimpressive, right?
Yeah.
Conley has 2 flyers with relatively low toughness, and the Spider's not doing anything.
Yeah, and this is an interesting game because, you know, if Sam had represented tricks or maybe played this game differently, Conley might have to move a lot slower. Like, Sam, the way he played, just very subtly kind of told Conley that he didn't have anything. And Conley was able to really establish that, you know, first by Sam not attacking or blocking, you know, and then Conley makes the block with the agent on the 3-3, the Wayfinder with the Rollicker on it, and finds out that, hey, Sam has no combat tricks. Now he can deploy his 3-2 flyers and just attack fearlessly into the 1-3 reach.
That's right. So Sam Wade does find a land on his turn, makes 2 Minotaurs with Flurry of Horns, and bashes with everybody. Conley takes it all and drops down to 8, cracks back for 6, and he's going to need a blocker. That's a nice one. He's going to gain 4 life here, putting himself back up to 12 and have a decent little defense on the ground here, especially specifically being a 3-3 versus the 2-2-3 Minotaurs. Pretty nice.
Yeah, assuming that Sam can't deal with those flyers, he's certainly not going to lethal Conley on the ground.
Conley finds his 6th land here. I think Conley has Stymied Hopes and maybe Commune with the Gods in his hand, so he's kind of Conleying out here. Is that Font? What is that?
It looks like Font.
Okay, so he's got Font and Stymied Hopes plus one other card I can't quite see.
I mean, for what we've seen so far, we haven't seen any 3. Well, we saw 1 3-drop, but we see 3 good 4-drops. So I mean, it's not unreasonable if Conley's trying to do a Font for ramp on turn 3 and then play on turn 2. I mean, and then play turn 3 Chorus of the Tides, Horizon,
Sure.
Chimera.
He also might have a splash.
Yeah, it depends. Font's not a great card, but it can offer your deck. You know, if you have more 4-drops than 3-drops, if you have a splash, you know, it has its uses.
So Sam chump blocks with the Spider token. It bites the dust. And we're going to call it a game here. So Conley Woods just kind of takes that one.
I mean, after the rocky start, once Conley hit land 4, he had all those 3-2 flyers. Sam didn't really play anything.
Just a flurry of horns, and it wasn't enough. Take a look at pretty angry looking Garrick there. He's angry on the outside, but he's happy on the inside. Pro Tour Magic 2015, August 1st through 3rd, a little over a month away now. It's in Portland, Oregon. It's going to be standard with M15, and it's also going to be M15 booster draft. How stoked are you to draft M15?
I'm excited. I'm always excited when a new set is coming out. And M14 is one of my favorite sets, probably second to Modern Masters in the past like 5-6 years since I've been playing again. So I'm excited to see if M15 is going to be also a great limited format.
Yeah, that's going to be a great one. PTM15 is the hashtag for that if you guys want to jump on ye old Twitter or Facebook.
I'll play first.
So Sam and Conley are both 7-0 here. They've got the coveted perfect record. I don't know how many buys Sam had. Conley had 3, I'm assuming.
Good place to be. And it's always nice to lock up day 2. Know you get to draft.
Yeah. But this is where they really have to finish, right? I mean, this is where, like...
Well, every match means so much in Magic. You know, you only have a few losses to work with. But, you know, to compare it to sports, like, I wouldn't say this is a must-win match. If you finish a day 8-1, that's a good start. I mean, it's an important match because they're at the top of the standings. And, you know, if you want to make the top 8, you usually have to go X-2. There's 2 rounds left today and 6 tomorrow, so that's 8 rounds. So they need to go 6-2 in any order, you know?
Right.
And obviously, I mean, that's still from this point, even after being 4-0, that's winning 75% of the remaining matches. So every loss is meaningful. But, I mean, it's not like if you lose this match and you're 7-1, you're all, like, upset, like, oh, like 7-1's a good record, you know?
Okay. Quick update from our side table. Our King of the Hill is Sukenik, and he's up a game over Sokols, that's his opponent. Because of Master of the Feast, it got stolen.
That's really interesting. How did it get stolen?
It got Portent of Betrayal.
Oh, wow. We were talking about Master earlier because it's hard to evaluate that guy.
Really tough to evaluate.
Like I don't like high variance cards and he's super high variance, but that doesn't mean he isn't good. If you play him turn 3 and your opponent can't answer him, I mean, they're dead, you know, single-handedly. And even if they answer him with like sorcery removal, are they going to take hits of 5 at a time to draw cards, assuming that, you know, you're the beatdown deck with Master? Obviously, if you're a control deck, you probably don't want Master because you'll just win the game with a 6-mana card later. You're not really worried about it. But if you're an aggressive deck, I mean, that guy kind of has to be dealt with right away. How many hits from 5 are they going to take just to draw cards?
Yeah, it
on the other hand,
extraordinary pressure.
Yeah, on the other hand, if they have instant removal, they can 2-for-1 you left and right. You know, if they bounce it after they draw a card.
Oh, I know.
So, I mean, it's kind of an interesting card.
It's really interesting. I talked to Morgan Chang a minute ago. He's out here at the GPs all the time, and he said he has that in his deck. He's also got Brain Maggot, and he said he went Brain Maggot into Master 2 different times and just unstoppable.
I think a lot of pros want to naturally hate a card like Master because it's like you're giving your opponent extra resources, you're giving the power to your opponent. But I'm not sure that that card isn't good. It's pretty powerful.
Yeah. All right, so Satyr Grove Dancer got killed by something. Can't quite see what it is. But it died. Looks like Conley's looking to try to make this game go longer. Also, it looks like he may have switched decks on us here.
Oh, right. He was green-blue last game,
Yeah,
right?
he was green-blue, and we've already seen 2 mountains. I see an island in his hand, though. I mean, I guess there's a chance we didn't see mountains from him somehow.
It would be weird for him to board out those flyers after they looked so good.
No kidding. All right, so a nice moves here for Conley Woods.
You know, we don't see any like cheap red cards or anything. It's possible that he's just playing like a splash or oh, that's Faded Conflagration?
Yeah, so there's no way he's splashing that. Forgeborn Oreads, though, is going to take down the Satyr Hedonist. That's nasty. And now we might have a Disciple fight. We might not. There's only really, what, 1 card that matters? Or I guess there's a couple now.
Well, I think the reason to take it would be that next turn you're taking 4 from the
Oreads?
Yeah, unless that he draws the mountain to Faded Conflagration it, because like he already had the Sedge Scorpion.
This is risky, by the way.
Well, no, but because if Sam plays an enchantment, he's going to kill it in response with the Faded Conflagration. I don't necessarily like the play because I think the Scry 2 was probably more valuable than letting Sam just play an enchantment. Because if Sam had like an enchantment creature that he was going to play, he might have just played it anyway or something like that. And Scry 2 is pretty valuable for Conley right here because he doesn't need lands anymore. So I would have probably Faded Conflagration it on my turn. But it's not that risky. The Sedge Scorpion's not going to die.
You're right.
Like
no,
that.
You're totally right.
He just spewed Scry 2 basically in exchange for provoking the enchantment.
Right.
Which I don't agree with, but it's certainly not an unreasonable play or that risky by any means.
All right, here's Humbler of Mortals now from Sam Wade. He did attack with the Rollicker the turn before, so he's chipping away, but Conley's still at 22. And there's a Forgeborn Oreads for Conley Woods. Going to take down the meager 1/1. And Conley ships the turn back. So that Scorpion's pulling nice duty here. Yeah, no attacks from Sam Wade. He just has to ship the turn back.
Sam out of gas.
Wow, here's Perforos' Emissary on Forgeborn Oreads. Ping you for 1 and battle. So Scorpion stays back on defense, and meanwhile 7 damage hits Sam Wade, and he can't do anything about it. He can't even block.
Sam has 3 land in hand, it looks like.
Oh, brutal.
Well, it looks like this game's going to be pretty short if Sam doesn't top deck an answer to a 7/5 that needs to be double blocked. I mean, I guess any creature will let him double block since he already has a 5/5.
In the meantime, he takes another half of his life total down. Satyr Grove Dancer to make a bear. And Woods ships a turn back, and yet another land for Sam Wade as he helplessly throws them on the table and extends the hand. Conley Woods in quick fashion there in the second game. Looks like he switched over to a primarily red-green deck, and it paid off for him there. And he earns the 2-0 victory. We're going to see if we can get somebody else over in our match. I'm sure our other matches are still going.
Yeah, that was so quick.
So fast.
I feel like we just started.
What do you think Conley's talking about? Maybe if he should have played it on his turn like you said?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it certainly wasn't a bad play. I mean, I think there's more value in Scry 2 there when you know you don't need any more land already. Because, I mean, any land you put on the bottom there is practically drawing a card because the game's going to go much longer and you don't need any more land. And if you see 2 cards, I mean, 40% of your deck or so is land. You have a pretty good shot, you know, to be putting at least 1 on the bottom, and then that's almost drawing a card, which seems more valuable than, you know, your opponent maybe playing a bestow creature or something. Because, I mean, what if your opponent even just had enchantment creatures going to run anyway? I mean, of course, you know, your opponent could have a creature enchantment that isn't bestow and then get 2 for 1, but it seems a lot more likely at that point he's just going to have a bestow creature or an enchantment creature.
Right.
So, I mean, you know, I'd rather Scry 2 there, and, you know, I think there's a little more value. But it's not a bad play. It's not a big deal. There's an upside to doing what Conley did, and there's an upside to Scry 2, and maybe Scry 2 is worth a little bit more, you know?
So we're going to be bringing in our King of the Hill match, which is Sukenik versus Sokol. Now, I believe that Sukenik's already up a game here. I saw him win his last round King of the Hill match, and boy, was he excited. I'm like, yeah, you don't have to go anywhere. He's like,
King of the Hill is sweet.
Yeah.
When they announced it at the Pro Tour, I was like, oh, I hope I get to play this guy. Like, I want to try and get King of the Hill.
So, play out or 7. And you're on the play? Yes. All right, good luck. Can we start?
I also love feature matches. Just getting to play on camera, you know, your girlfriend can watch, your mom can watch, you know, all the people at home.
Totally. All right, looks like they're just ready to go here as well.
Yeah, my 7
Of course, these players are undefeated. In order to be in the King of the Hill table, you got to be undefeated.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
No, I mean, of
Eventually,
course.
the winner of the tournament ends up in the King of the Hill table, technically. But
Right, but I mean, until everyone in the tournament has one loss,
I have no idea.
well, I guess not everyone, but until you can get, an undefeated can get paired against somebody with one loss, there can't be a King of the Hill with one
They're not
loss.
even bad.
right.
I didn't even think about that.
How many per dollar?
And since it's a GP, the King of the Hill may go very long. It's
Yeah.
entirely possible that someone will be King of the Hill until round 12 or 13 or something.
And it's pretty common as well for the people to carry it over. Like we'll try to get the champion from the previous tournament.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, like the GP after
I'll leave it up to you.
Pro Tour.
Never one
Which
to ask
one
me
was
what
it?
it is.
One of the recent Pro Tours, we got the
Hope you
PT
think you're
champ
better
in
than
there. It was pretty awesome.
It must have been Atlanta. That's the first time I ever heard of King of the Hill.
Yeah,
Preferably
Yeah, that's
not
like a
including
BDM
masterpiece,
thing.
though.
BDM came up with that?
I think so.
Yeah, that's great. It's fun.
It's fun. I mean, we've got, you know, the way we have our feature match set up is like
On
2
the
camera
fly, yeah.
matches and a text match, and then like an extra table that we bring another match over just to have like as a backup for our match here and that kind of thing. And so we said, oh, let's just make that King of the Hill match.
Sure. It's exciting.
All right, a little mulligan here for Greg Sokol, looks like.
Looks like he's a decent 6. Mountain and Swamp.
Jonathan's got a mountain. And there's a Reckless Reveler for Greg Sokol. And a 2-1 for Jonathan Sukenik as well. This one's a Sigiled Skink.
And Sigiled Skink is one of the cards that I think people don't realize how good he is. Just look at the board right now. 2-mana 2-1, 2-mana 2-1 with Scry 1 when it attacks. Scry 1 is not trivial. Scry 1 is value.
Right.
If you need a third land to play your 3-drops, then being able to bin your spells and find that land is the difference between winning or losing quite often. If you already have enough land, anytime you see a land, you put it on the bottom. That's like drawing a half a card, you know, a 40% of a card, you know, however often you're going to put a land on the bottom. It's not a trivial ability. So sometimes a small creature that looks innocuous can actually be quite effective.
All right, so this is interesting. So Greg does not attack with his now 3-1 Reveler. And Jonathan Sukenik is going to attack, resolve his Scry ability, and then Searing Blood the living heck out of that thing. And this is going to be a 5-point life swing here.
Yeah, and that shows you exactly what we were talking about. He didn't attack, he was going to block if he would have been given the opportunity,
right.
Despite his being a 3-1 and Skink only being a 2-1
Yeah.
at 20 life, because letting someone scry is just valuable.
That's respect.
Very important.
This is interesting. Here's a Spark Jolt from Sokol to take down the Sigiled Skink. And he is now resolving the Scry from Spark Jolt. Looks to be in the tank pretty deep here. I'm assuming he's main phasing this, but there's a chance this is his upkeep as well.
Oh yeah, that would make sense. If he already had it, it would make sense to do it upkeep.
Right.
And look, he's deep in the tank. Is that a Lightning Strike? I think I got a glimpse of it. It might have been a Lightning Strike. And he's like, well, I need a land real bad, but this card can kill things, can help me find land.
Right.
That would be a tough decision there.
It was his main phase, unfortunately. He pushed a card to the bottom, and here's Laganaban Elder for Jonathan. So nice little board presence for him there, and unfortunately, he finds a Karanos Stormcaller, I believe.
I'm not 100%, but
Kronos.
I'm not 100%, but let's say it was a Lightning Strike. Do we keep it?
I don't.
I mean, he needs the land, but like Strike is going to kill pretty much any creature for 3 or 4 mana.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of buying you the same amount of time as putting it on the bottom.
It might.
It might. I mean, it could buy you more if he only has 1 creature and you kill his only creature. It could buy you less if he plays a guy that has 4 toughness.
Right. Or if he just, you know, randomly comes up with like some combat trick that saves his creature. Like if you go Skyguard, you go Lightning Strike. He's like, pump my guy. You're in pretty bad trouble there. All right, so this draw obviously terrible for Greg here. I mean, I see he's got Fearsome Temper in his hand. And this is a Chosen by Heliod that Jonathan's just going to run right out there on the old Akroan Skyguard. It resolves, he gets to draw his card, he gets triggers, and he even gets to swing for 5 damage here. So things looking awful for Greg Sokol as he just doesn't have a whole lot going on at all. We've seen some real beatdowns here this round. I mean, Conley and now this one.
It's unfortunate. I mean, we had some good games earlier. The last couple rounds have mostly been, you know, one-sided games.
Yeah.
It happens. I mean, hopefully we'll
Here
get to
we
see some
go.
more really good ones.
I like this one, Master of the Feast, but it's not enough. And there's that Portent of Betrayal again, and as BDM told me, that's how game 1 ended as well. Master of the Feast got stolen.
Red flag?
Yeah, that'll do it.
And